All right, hello students. So we're working on Project Runway and trying to understand how we can get this darn plane to land. And just by eyeballing it, it's kind of hard to nail it. Close enough. So let me move on. And when you set the plane in a certain spot, what you're doing is putting the y-intercept of your linear equation. So depending on where I move my plane, there's the y-intercept, and I can put it here at 15. And one reason I knew 15 was correct for this one is because it gave me the equation. If you look at the equation right here, I see y equals 15 minus x. We've been really working on mx plus b format, so I could rewrite that equation as y equals negative x plus 15, so we can more clearly identify that the m is negative 1 and the b is 15 from right there. And you can see that as I let the plane fly, the plane goes down a box, over a box, down a box, over a box. That's the rise over run. That's what a negative 1 slope means. It's down 1 over 1. So now let's look at some of the challenges. Now that we have the basics out of the way, we're going to be using y equals mx plus b to make the plane land. Also, make sure you're reading the directions. This one says change one number in the equation. And what I see is that the blue line is hitting the y-intercept at the right spot. I know the negative 7 is not going to change. If I change the negative 7 to a positive 1, for example, you see the blue line over here is not matching up with where the plane starts. So I want my y-intercept to stay negative 7. And what you can do is draw yourself a little slope triangle. We're trying to get from where the plane starts right there to the middle of the runway. So using those 2 points, I'm going to go up and over, and I'm going to count the rise over run. And looks like I went from 7 to 3, so that's a rise of 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like I went from 0 up to 8, so that's 8 steps to the right. That's an m of 4 over 8. I could type in 4 over 8 as my slope, so I change the number 2, 4 over 8, hit it, and it flies right along the line as is expected. 4 over 8 is not a simplified fraction, so I could have typed in 1 over 2. It would have been exactly the same. Many of you working on this activity just guessed and checked that it would be a decimal and got it to be 0.5. Now look at this next one here. I see the plane starts at 15, so I know that I'm going to have y equals something plus 15. Just as a quick review, if I type in y equals 15, the plane stays at y equals 15. It's a horizontal line. So to make it move in a different direction, let's draw our slope triangle. Point up here at 15. Let's choose a point right in the middle of the runway. This one looks good to me. Connect those dots with the slope triangle. Looks like we went down by 4, from 15 down to 11, went over by 6. So I've got rise over run, negative 4 over 6. You can throw that in here, negative 4 over 6x plus 15 because it's a positive 15 y-intercept, and we got it. Every land the plane activity can be modeled with the same way. I guess the only exception would be if it is a vertical line. We can't type a y equals equation for a vertical line because it doesn't have a defined slope, it doesn't have a defined y-intercept. And so let's do just one more slide and then we'll call it good on this video here. Oh, here you can see it's a horizontal line. So this one has a slope of 0. Skip that one. And then here we have this question about who's correct. And what I like about this question is the two equations have the same 2 numbers in them. They've got a 2. They've got a negative 8. This one has a slope of 2 and a y-intercept of negative 8. This one has a y-intercept of 8 and a slope of negative 2. Remember that although I always say y equals mx plus b, I could also say b plus mx. The important thing is that the slope is the number that touches x, and the y-intercept is the number that does not touch x. So even though Roman entered his equation sort of backwards, 8 minus 2x, he could have written y equals negative 2x plus 8, and we would have seen that it's going down 2 and over 1. and that it starts at positive 8 as your b-value. All right, so please ask for more questions if you got anything else. If any of the challenges were hard, but you absolutely need to know how to do these Project Runway slides for our upcoming assessment. Thanks.